Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. Today I thought I'll walk you through a little demonstration of a color study. I do a lot of color studies as a part of my practice. They help me find compositions and color notes, and sometimes just to warm up before I plan to tackle something bigger in my studio. So I'm going to walk you through this little color study that I'm doing, and hopefully you'll learn something. And if you have questions, please let me know in comments and I'll do my best to answer them. So what I'm trying to do here is I am simply trying to find the larger masses in my reference picture, and I'm trying to block them. No detail at this point, and I'm using transparent color, primarily a mix of Viridian and transparent oxide red with just a little bit of medium. In order to find those larger masses, I am squinting. I'm making my eyes wafer thin and trying to almost look through my eyelashes. What this does is it reduces the amount of light that is flooding the scene, and it takes away the detail. My purpose at this stage is to simply find the placement. I'm going to be deviating just a little bit from the reference photograph. It's not going to be exactly a copy, although it is still going to be inspired from that reference picture. Once I find my placement and I'm happy with it, I start to lay down the paint. And this time I'm starting with my midtones. I'm not going very dark yet. I'm just finding the mid value. This will later allow me to go darker or lighter from this mid value. Once I have the mid values, I'm going to establish my darks. The reason I try to establish my darks pretty early is because I want to make sure that the mid-tone that I just laid down is reading right next to my darkest darks. As you watch me paint this painting, you will realize that I'm not trying to complete or finish any specific area first. I'm always focused on working on the whole. At this point, I'm trying to get the right value of my shadow. I want to ensure that the shadow value reads right next to that tree shape that I have. Once I have the cast shadow of the big tree shape, I want to block in the foreground. Again, the reason for me to do this is to make sure that the cast shadow that I just laid in reads right next to the foreground value. In the end, when it comes to making a painting, it's a game of comparison. It's a game of comparison from start to finish. Again, as you can see, I am not trying to finish any specific area, and I'm very consciously trying to move through the whole painting. Now, one of the things that make a painting read distance is color temperature. As things recede into the distance, they move towards the cooler spectrum. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure that I have some warmth in my foreground compared to the color notes that I'm going to lay in the far distance near in the background near the hill. At this point, now I'm going to start to work on the hill. I have to make sure again that the whole painting reads. I'm going to start blocking in my sky so I can get a good read for the whole painting. I call this my block-in phase, where I try to work on the whole painting, trying to bring the whole painting together just so I can get a good read for the painting real quick before I start to get into the details. Beyond this point, I am going to start refining various areas of the painting, and I will be adding more and more details. As I continue to add details, I am constantly mindful of the direction of light. Anytime I make a mark on my canvas, I am very conscious and I'm aware of whether that mark lies in light or whether it lies in shadow. This helps me stay consistent throughout my process. At no point in time in my painting do I want the viewer to be confused about the direction of light. So keeping a note of that and being mindful of it throughout the painting process is absolutely essential. I feel like that lovely note of muted yellow in the far distance is going to be very interesting and will call the viewer right back into the distance. This is another way to create distance in a painting, by giving the viewer different things, interesting things to look at different distances in the painting. I'm going to continue refining the painting one little mark at a time and moving the paint from one area of the painting to another. This helps maintain harmony within the painting in terms of colors. Just adding a few accent marks here and there as I go. I'm very careful about the marks that I make. I'm trying not to blend a whole lot, just making a mark and trying my best to leave it alone. The process of refining can continue forever. So I hope you learned something from watching this video, and if you have specific questions, please let me know in comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching and happy painting!